contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. IBA suspends 7 broadcasting stations over unpaid fees. Government defers NGO bill for further consultations. South African MP opens fire to fend off attack during attempted hijacking. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. The Independent Broadcasting Authority effect suspended the broadcasting licenses of 5 radio stations and 2 television stations for failure to pay the 2020. In a statement, IBA Acting Director General Susan Domingo says the suspension is in line with Section 22(5)(c) of the IBA Amendment Act number 26 of 2010, which requires all broadcasting licensees to pay annual operating fees as determined by the board. Mrs. Domingo explains that the annual fees are due on 1st January each year, adding that the affected stations were only suspended after the authority had exhausted all laid down procedures outlined in the guidelines for enforcement and handling of compliance breaches. She further emphasizes that the IBA remains committed to enforcing compliance with the law and fostering a professional broadcasting industry anchored on accountability and sustainability.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority Board has with immediate effect suspended broadcasting licenses for 5 radio stations and 2 television stations for failure to pay the 2025 annual operating fees.
The government has deferred the non-government organization NGO bill to allow for wider stakeholder consultations and further refinement of the legislation. Minister of Community Development and Social Services Doreen Mwamba has announced the development during a stakeholder engagement meeting with representatives of civil society and NGOs at the ministry's headquarters in Lusaka. Ms. Mwamba explains that the decision follows concerns raised by various stakeholders over some provisions of the bill. She says the deferment is not a sign of abandonment, but rather a deliberate step to ensure that the legislation eventually will pass, which is inclusive, fair, and reflective of the views and aspirations of all stakeholders, especially the NGOs it seeks to regulate. She noted that the deferment provides an opportunity to re-engage with stakeholders, integrate substantive concerns raised by NGOs into the revised draft bill, and align the proposed legislation with regional and international best practices, while ensuring consistency with Zambia's constitutional and developmental priorities. The minister has reaffirmed government's commitment to creating an enabling legislative and regulatory environment for NGOs, urging all stakeholders to use the consultation period to submit clear and actionable proposals.
Accountability is indispensable. Therefore, it is in our mutual interest that this law governing your operations is balanced, ensuring transparency and accountability while safeguarding your independence and operational efficiency. In the light of this, the deferment gives us an opportunity to re-engage with stakeholders in a structured and transparent consultation process.
Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali has called on the newly elected Zambia Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport (ZCILT) Council to uphold professionalism and support the recently established logistics department under his ministry in order to enhance the flow of goods and services in the region. Speaking when the council's executive committee paid a courtesy call on him at his office this morning, Mr. Tayali has urged the team to avoid patronage in the recruitment of staff at various levels in the sector, stressing that merit and expertise must guide appointments. He has further explained that government created the logistics department to address bottlenecks that had persisted over the years, noting that ZCILT remains a key partner in ensuring the efficient movement of goods and services across the region. Mr. Tayali has further stated that Zambia is expected to see an influx of goods and services due to the significant investments made in the transport and logistics sector, and therefore there is need for purposeful and effective management of the industry.
The logistics component we brought in because that His Excellency believed was the discipline, that things were being done haphazard, and that is not good for business. Those congestions at border crossings, those are not good signs of trade. All right? Delayments at the berths, at the ports, when the ship has docked for 2-3 weeks before a ship can actually be pulled in to offload its cargo. All those delays do add to the cost of doing business.
And ZCILT President Brigadier General Fred Mwale, retired, assured the minister that the institute is committed to supporting the ministry's success. He has said that as a consortium of experts in the transport and logistics sector, ZCILT will provide the much needed advisory expertise.
We have taken it upon ourselves that we are going to work with our parent ministry in the best interest of the country. I think the conference was the business look into the policy, the logistics policy, I think we are involved, one or two members from this.
The Zambia Police Service has arrested and detained a female suspect in connection with a dangerous incident involving the possession of offensive weapons and unlawful acts causing harm. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga confirmed that the incident occurred today, August 20, 2025, around 04 hours along Cairo Road in Lusaka. A report was filed at 08 hours at Lusaka Central Police Station. According to Mr. Hamonga, the case was reported by Mr. Davis Musonda, 62, of Matero East in Lusaka, a bus driver for Royal Africa Company based in Kitwe. Mr. Musonda stated that while driving his Scania Marco Polo bus, registration number AJE 6880, carrying 58 passengers en route to Nakonde, an unknown passenger was found in possession of a 2.5-liter container of suspected acid and a gas cylinder with a cable attached. The container reportedly leaked, spilling its contents onto passengers and causing burns. He has explained that the driver stopped the vehicle after hearing passengers shout that a liquid was dripping from the roof of the bus and burning them. Upon inspection, he discovered the leaking acid container and gas cylinder. Police quickly issued medical forms and all victims were taken to the University Teaching Hospital UTH, where they received treatment and were later discharged. Their conditions are reported to be stable. Investigations led to the arrest of Faith Nyurenda, 38, of Chazanga compound in Lusaka.
Female Esna to Mumba, 826, of Mpika, sustained burns on the left arm and leg. A female juvenile, aged 1 year 9 months, of Mpika, sustained burns on the left arm. A female, aged 15, of Jonalengi Lusaka, sustained burns on the buttocks. And male Kelvin Soneka, aged 33, of Nakonde, sustained burns. Brief facts of the matter are that while driving along Carroll Road, the bus driver heard passengers shouting that an unknown liquid was streaming down from the inside roof of the bus, burning them.
And in other news trending this evening, the fourth bilateral trade meeting between the Republic of Zambia and the United Republic of Tanzania has commenced, underscoring the importance of bilateral trade relations in advancing Africa's economic integration amidst a rapidly evolving global trade landscape. The Zambia Civil Liberties Union has expressed deep outrage and grave concern over the brutal torture and killing of Enoch Simfukwe in Chisamba, which reportedly occurred at a farm owned by Maria Zalomis and her partner, Nathaniel Chinyeremi Bathram. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Absa Bank Zambia PLC has announced that it is projecting to raise 300,000 kwacha at this year's 7th edition of the Absa Marathon. According to Absa Head of Marketing and Corporate Affairs Mato Shimabale, in partnership with World Vision, the funds will be used to provide reusable sanitary towels to more than 5,000 vulnerable girls across the country. Mr. Shimabale further announces that registration for the 2025 Absa Marathon has officially closed after successfully reaching the 7,000 participants milestone. The marathon, scheduled for Saturday, 6th September 2025 at the Lusaka Showgrounds main arena, will attract runners from Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, Ethiopia, Bangladesh, China, France, and the United Kingdom, positioning Zambia as a growing hub for sports tourism and international competition. With a prize pool of 600,000 Zambian kwacha and expanded categories that will reward more winners than ever before, the 2025 Absa Marathon is set to deliver world-class performances and memorable sporting moments.
The Absa Marathon 2025 is now fully subscribed, and our target was to register 7,000 participants, which was an increase from last year's participation of 6,500 participants. And the milestone of 7,000 participants was achieved a few days ago, and we're truly thankful to all local and international participants who've registered for this year's marathon. We're fully subscribed 3 weeks or so ahead of the event. It shows how Zambians have embraced fitness and health as an integral part of their well-being and lifestyle. And we're also seeing the benefits of this marathon being a World Athletics Certified Marathon.
Ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in foreign news, a prominent South African MP fired shots to fend off a violent attack by a gang on him and two of his colleagues in Cape Town. Ian Cameron, along with two other members of Parliament's Police Committee, Lisa Schmecklin and Nicholas Gotzel, were returning from a work trip when their vehicle was ambushed in the township of Philippi on Tuesday. The assailants smashed the car's windows with bricks, injuring Cameron and Gotzel. Cameron, whose teeth were broken, retaliated by opening fire, injuring one of the attackers. Police said two teenagers aged 16 and 18 have been arrested as they investigate a case of attempted murder and attempted hijacking. And in sports news, Zescondola girls have left for Johannesburg, South Africa aboard Zambia Airways ahead of their debut at the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA Qualifiers 2025. The Ndola-based side becomes the second Zambian club to feature in the regional competition after Green Buffaloes, who have represented the country in the previous 4 editions. Buffaloes famously lifted the title in 2022 after defeating Mamelodi Sundowns in a dramatic penalty shootout. Zesco have been placed in Group A alongside champions Mamelodi Sundowns, Namibia's Beauties FC, and Malawi's Ntopwa FC. Their participation comes after a remarkable domestic campaign in which they went the entire season unbeaten, sealing the league title with 31 wins and 3 draws in 34 matches. The team's success was spearheaded by striker and Zambia Premier League Women's Player of the Year winner Penelope Moluwa, who netted an incredible 35 goals to help end Green Buffalo's 4-year hold on the title. In the evening weather report, Eastern, Muchinga, Northern, and Luapula provinces, including the eastern parts of Central Province, windy at times and mild with few clouds. Northwestern, Western, Southern, Lusaka, and Copperbelt provinces, including the southwestern parts of Central Province, clear skies, windy at times, and mild to cool. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. The Independent Broadcasting Authority Board has, with immediate effect, suspended the broadcasting licenses of 5 radio stations and 2 television stations for failing to pay the 2025 annual operating fees. The government has deferred the non-government organization and bill to allow for wider stakeholder consultations and further refinement of the legislation. And finally, a prominent South African MP fired shots to fend off a violent attack by a gang on him and 2 of his colleagues in Cape Town. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the evening.